to Grove Park.
So in today's video we'll start a new series. I hope you enjoyed the intro and explanation. The explanation should have given you an idea of what today's video is going to be about. So as said in the explanation, the first step is the frequency and roots. Starting off with the roots and the southern line, or southern lines in this case, the most obvious change to this section is that there's 2 new lines added to the southern lines, which I think both are pretty useful. By the way, how are you guys?
On Transpennine Express, my 2 favourite trains are the Class 185 and the Class 350.
I've been on a Class 185 going to Haven / Thorpe Park in Cleethorpes, so I got down the Victoria Line to King's Cross, then took whole trains to Doncaster, and then got on a 185 to Cleethorpes. And I think I got on a refurbished one. I also like the Class 802s and 397s. Not my favourite, but I still like them. You're wondering, for the same reasons as the 185s and Class 350. However, for the Class 802s, it's got the same reasons, but I like how it's bi-mode. The only time where I've been on a Class 802 is when I went to Cleethorpes, when getting on whole trains and on Great Western Railway. And let me just say, the 802s/2s, which are the whole variants of it, were comfier. Being very honest, I do not like the Class 68s. Why, you may be wondering? Well, because it had some problems and it doesn't look that nice.
Cleethorpes to Liverpool Lime Street, 1 train every hour.
Cleethorpes or Liverpool Lime Street to Manchester Airport, 8 trains a day.
Cleethorpes to London King's Cross, 1 train per hour. Sheffield to London King's Cross, 3 trains a day.
Cleethorpes to Edinburgh Waverley, 2 to 3 trains per 2 hours.
Back then when I went on Transpennine Express, did you know it was only the northern lines and the Anglo-Scottish lines that went to Liverpool Lime Street? The southern line, which I remember the announcement saying it's terminating at Manchester Piccadilly or Manchester Airport.
As of 2025, the only trains that go on the northern lines is the Class 802s on some routes, and the majority of the routes being Class 185s. You may be wondering don't the 68s do those routes? Well, they do. They do to Scarborough, but the Class 68s are getting scrapped, due to them having some issues, and due to them being unreliable, considering the 185s are in 3 cars, coach formation, and they can do a better job. But overall, I think the Novas are good, as in the Nova 1 Class 802 and the Nova 2 Class 397. The Class 68, don't know about that. All I know is they're being scrapped for good on Transpennine Express. Viewers, if you want, you can do a review on this, like some of the other YouTubers, and you can kind of use this idea as inspiration, but just do not copy. My favourite line on Transpennine Express that is at current, not my ideas, is the Cleethorpes to Liverpool Lime Street to Manchester Airport. Why? Because that's the actual only line I've been on, and I liked it pretty much. But if I actually have to choose that line I actually have not been on, it would be the Manchester Airport to Saltburn, Liverpool Lime Street to Hull, or the Manchester Airport to Edinburgh Waverley via Preston. I actually had to watch a video to kind of show me what it is as of at current. and also do some research so I can actually do this video, and so I don't have to think out of the top of my head. Manchester Airport to Saltburn, 1 train per hour. Liverpool Lime Street to Hull, 1 train an hour. Saltburn to Hull, 2 to 3 trains per 2 hours. Manchester Piccadilly to Scarborough, 1 train every 2 hours. Manchester Airport to Scarborough, 6 trains a day. Scarborough to Darlington, 2 trains during the morning and evening peak. Liverpool Lime Street to Newcastle or Edinburgh Waverley, 3 trains per 2 hours. Newcastle to Edinburgh, 1 train per 2 hours. Manchester Airport to Newcastle, 3 trains per 2 hours. Manchester Airport to Edinburgh Waverley, 1 to 2 trains per 2 hours. Glasgow Central to Hobart, Edinburgh, 3 trains during morning and evening rush hour. Manchester Airport to Glasgow Central, 1 to 2 trains per 2 hours. Liverpool Lime Street to Glasgow Central, 1 train per 2 hours. If I'm being very honest with you, I do not know the prices of the trains themselves, so I'm just going to make up random prices and a random budget, okay? board this Transpennine Express service to Liverpool, Lancashire, Queen, Grimsby Town, Harbour, Burnetby, Scunthorpe, Alport, Crow, Bournemouth, Hazyfield and Sainford, Kirkstandall, Doncaster, Meadowhall, Sheffield, Durham, Tottenham, Stockport, Manchester Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road, Elmstone, Earlham, Birchwood, Warrington Central, Warrington West, Liverpool South Parkway and Liverpool Lime Street. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Manchester Airport, calling at Liverpool South Parkway, Warrington West, Warrington Central, Birchwood, Earlham, Erston, Manchester Oxford Road, Manchester Piccadilly and Manchester Airport. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Cleethorpes, calling at Stockport, Durham, Tottenham, Sheffield, Meadowhall, Doncaster, Kirkstandall, Hazyfield and Sainford, Bournemouth, Crow, Althorpe, Scunthorpe, Burnetby, Harbour, Grimsby Town and Cleethorpes. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to London King's Cross, calling at Grimsby Town, Harbour, Burnetby, Scunthorpe, Crow, Hazyfield and Sainford, Doncaster, Peterborough and London King's Cross. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Sheffield, calling at Peterborough and Sheffield. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Cleethorpes, calling at Weston, Berwick-upon-Tweed, Newcastle, Durham, Darlington, York, Garforth, Leeds, Dewsbury, Huddersfield, Stalybridge, Manchester Victoria, Manchester Oxford Road, Manchester Piccadilly, Stockport, Sheffield, Meadowhall, Doncaster, Kirkstandall, Hazyfield and Sainford, Bournemouth South, Crow, Althorpe, Scunthorpe, Burnetby, Harbour, Grimsby Town and Cleethorpes. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Saltburn, calling at Manchester Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road, Manchester Victoria, Stalybridge, Huddersfield, Dewsbury, Leeds, Crossgate, Garforth, York, Ersk, Northallerton, Yarm, Thornaby, Middlesbrough, Redcar Central and Saltburn. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Hull, calling at Leagreen, Manchester, Victoria, Huddersfield, Leeds, Crossgate, Garforth, South Milford, Selby, Haldon, Gilberdike, Borough and Hull. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Hull, calling at Redcar Central, Middlesbrough, Thornaby, Yarm, Northallerton, Thurst, York, South Milford, Selby, Haldon, Gilberdike, Borough and Hull. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Scarborough, calling at Manchester, Victoria, Stalybridge, Huddersfield, Leeds, York, Moulton, Seymour and Scarborough. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Scarborough, calling at Manchester Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road, Manchester Victoria, Stalybridge, Huddersfield, Leeds, York, Moulton, Seymour and Scarborough. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Darlington, calling at Seymour, Moulton, Thirsk, Northallerton and Darlington. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Newcastle, calling at Leagreen, Newton Overlows, Manchester Victoria, Huddersfield, Leeds, Crossgate, Garforth, York, Perth, Northallerton, Darlington, Durham, Chester Street and Newcastle. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Edinburgh Waverley, calling at Leagreen, Newton Overlows, Manchester Victoria, Huddersfield, Leeds, Crossgate, Garforth, York, First Northallerton, Darlington, Durham, Chester Street, Newcastle, Morpeth, Alma, Berwick-upon-Tweed, Weston, Dunbar and Edinburgh Waverley. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Newcastle, calling at Dunbar, Weston, Berwick-upon-Tweed, Almouth, Morpeth and Newcastle. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Manchester Airport, calling at Chester Street, Durham, Darlington, Northallerton, Perth, York, Garforth, Crossgate, Leeds, Huddersfield, Slavethwaite, Marston, Greenfield, Mosby, Stalybridge, Manchester Victoria, Manchester Oxford Road, Manchester, Chester, Piccadilly and Manchester Airport. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Glasgow Central, calling at Borough, Gilberdike, Haldon, Selby, South Milford, York, First Northallerton, Darlington, Durham, Chester Street, Newcastle, Morpeth, Alma, Berwick-upon-Tweed, Weston, Dunbar, Edinburgh Waverley, Edinburgh Haymarket, Motherwell, Carstairs and Glasgow Central. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Edinburgh Waverley, calling at Manchester Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road, Bolton, Preston, Lancaster, Oxenholme Lake District, Penrith North Lake, Carlisle, Lockerbie, Edinburgh Haymarket and Edinburgh Waverley. Welcome on board this Transpennine Express service to Glasgow Central, calling at Manchester Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road, Bolton, Preston, Lancaster, Oxenham Lake District, Penrith, Northlake, Carlisle, Lockerbie, Carstairs, Motherwell and Glasgow Central. Welcome aboard this Transpennine Express service to Liverpool Lime Street, calling at Motherwell, Lockerbie, Carlisle, Penrith, Northlake, Oxenham Lake District, Lancaster, Preston, Wigan North Western, St Helens Central and Liverpool Lime Street.